So here we are, 1 year on since we first went into lockdown. I don't think any of us could have imagined back in March 2020 that a year on we would still be living with lockdown restrictions, whichever lockdown we're in at the moment. We would still be living with the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, and we've still got a long way to go. But it does feel like a year on is a great time to reflect on what we've learned and what God has done with us. And as I've reflected, I've really felt reminded of two things. Firstly, is that actually following Jesus is a lot more simple than we sometimes make it out to be. That we can make it quite complex by adding a load of things into following Jesus that actually distract us away from our call to love God, to love our neighbour as ourselves, and to go and make disciples. And maybe this year, as we've had all those other areas of Christian life stripped away, and all those other maybe distractions, it's been an opportunity for us to focus on what matters and to cultivate a deep relationship where we abide in Jesus. We get life from him, and we're able to go and give that life to others. And there's going to be a day where we are able to gather again, and I'm excited about that. And I love the church, and I love the gathered church, and I love being with other people. But maybe as we gather again, we will have learned some lessons about what it is to deeply abide in Jesus, to love God with all our hearts, to love our neighbours ourselves, and then from that place go and make disciples. And maybe our following of Jesus will be less about activity and less about busyness, and more about hearing God's voice and being obedient to whatever he calls us to. And I've been reminded of Psalm 139, and this is my prayer, that what God would do in my heart. He says, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts. See if there is anything grievous in me, and lead me in the way everlasting." And actually that God would search my heart during this time. He would search your heart. He would refine us so we can be used for his service in this next season. That those things that maybe distract us away from following Jesus would be stripped away. Maybe some of those areas of our lives where we've given a load of time, a load of energy, actually God is saying, actually, is that really where I want you to invest in this next season? Is that really what it means to go and make disciples and make Jesus known in our city and beyond? And so, hopefully this series in the Sermon on the Mount, as we've learned what it is to live in the kingdom, hopefully that is helping you. And hopefully that is helping you look at, actually, how do I live? How do I live my life? And how can, when we can fill our diaries again and when we can do more, how can I make sure that I'm intentional about living in the kingdom? Not just being consumed by the culture around me, but living in the kingdom, following Jesus with my all, and seeing him made known in our city and beyond. And so that hopefully that is going to equip you, encourage you this as we do this series, and challenge you about what it is to step into this next season. And secondly, I think what I've learned is that the church is more resilient than I could have imagined. If you'd have told me that a year on, that we weren't going to meet, we've met 5 times in the last year, a couple of prayer meetings, and if you were to tell me that actually you wouldn't do any meetings, you're not going to see each other, your growth groups are all going to move online, and you're not going to get to be in a room together. If you'd have asked me a year ago, I would have questioned whether we'd still have a church to come back to. What would happen in that year? Would we all just totally disconnect? Would we forget about one another? And I've been blown away by how resilient the church is. It's been a difficult time. I'm sure right now you're feeling the pain of lockdown. I'm sure that you're missing people incredibly. I'm sure you've got some disappointments about maybe people that you hope to have connected with and kept in touch and deepened friendship with over this last year, and it's not happened. But the bigger picture is that Christ has still been building his church, and the church is incredibly resilient because it is God's purpose. He said he's going to build his church. This church is not built around me and my personality. It's not built around a certain ministry that we do. It's not built around any leaders or any anything that we do, it's actually built around Jesus. He's the cornerstone for it that the church is built on, and actually it's Jesus who builds his church, and that gives us great confidence. And we've seen that over the last year. I've just seen how, speak to people and find out how they've been connecting with one another, hearing how our growth groups have supported and cared for one another, seeing how the lonely have been visited, seeing how people have been picking up the phone and calling people and arranging walks and praying for one another over the phone, and sending letters and cards and gifts, and just the way that the church has connected. And during this season, when we come back, church is going to look different. It will feel different for you. It's going to look different, and there'll be new people amongst us. Unfortunately, there will be some people who won't be with us anymore. But what we will have seen is that God will have still been building his church during this time. And I just want to thank each of you for all that you've done in this season, the way you've invested in relationships, the way you've invested in church, the way you've continued to support us as a leadership team and pray, the way you've continued to serve in whatever areas you have been able to, the way you've been able to continue to give. I've been blown away, and I'm so excited to see what God does in this next season. There's going to be a lot to work through. There's going to be lots of hurts. There's going to be lots of healing that needs to happen. But I'm also excited about what God will do with us as a community. This is a really exciting time to be part of the church across the world. I feel this is as we come out of lockdown, it's a chance for us to rethink how we do church, what we're investing in, and have a greater impact in the future. It's a great time to be part of the global church. It's a great time to be part of Jubilee, and I'm excited to see what God does with us as a community. And so I just want to thank each and every one of you. Keep going. We're nearly there. We're looking forward to when we can gather again. We don't know what the next few months have in store, but we will get there together. And so hang in. Thank you so much, especially to our growth group leaders who've just cared so well for our church members during this time. You guys have really excelled, so thank you. I know our groups are so appreciative of all you do. Thank you to the leadership team who've supported me during this time and really helped us process what is just a unique time for us. We've never been through a pandemic before. We're working it all out, but we've worked it out together. And so thank you to each of you. And what I would say is that it'd be great if you could consider how you can get involved in this next season. As we look to regather, this is going to be it's going to be a key time for us. We're going to go slowly as we regather again. We're not just going to jump back into activity. It's a great chance for us to evaluate what we're doing and make decisions for the future. But we also know that in order to put on our Sunday services, we need a load of people on our welcome. We need people serving on our different teams, our worship team and our tech side of stuff, and the kids work and with Explorers and our youth work. And we need people, and our teams have never been as small really as they are now. People have stepped away for whatever reason. People have had some time out. People have maybe had a year off serving and are currently trying to work out what they're doing. And it's great to evaluate where you need to be serving in this next season, but we do need people. We can only go as quick as we've got the people. We're not going to put on activities if we've not got enough people. And so I would just encourage you. I know it's going to be getting back into the mindset of serving. I know for some of you, you're just not going to be comfortable doing that yet, and that's absolutely fine. But if you're going to be coming to our services when we gather again from the 18th of April, what I would ask is, would you volunteer to serve once a month on one of our teams? All the information is at notdull.org/serving. Please go on there, read about the serving roles, and volunteer once a month to come and help make our Sundays happen. This is a family thing. It's not coming to something where you just can consume, or something where we put on a service for you. This is us being family, where we can welcome in our city and share the love of Jesus with them. So please consider how you can serve in this next season. And just a massive thank you as well for all those who gave at our gift day. We're really excited to be able to announce the total this Sunday. So do join us this Sunday for our online church service on Facebook and YouTube at 10:30. And I look forward to sharing with you then how much we raised on our gift day. But take care, God bless, have a great week. Bye.